first want to congratulate Cliff Godwin, East Carolina baseball. Got a lot of respect for him. It's a great coach, great staff, a great program, great fan base. Man, I got to watch a lot of footage of them when they hosted that regional, and I told Cliff this week, man, that place was rocking. You got it going on there. And just after the game, I told him I know how much it hurts. I said, unfortunately or fortunately, I've been there. We've been there. And what his fan base has to understand is, man, if you're gonna live in the world of hosting regionals and being a part of super regionals, man, you're just gonna have some really tough defeats. I mean, that's no one's immune from that, and that's part of it. And as much as it hurts right now, it's just you just have to learn to embrace it. And I just hope his fan base and administration, people understand. And it's a tough spot to be in. 8 teams are going to be crushed this weekend, but one of the top 16 programs in the country is a lot to be proud of. Obviously, super proud for my guys. They showed a lot of toughness and competed, and it's been fun. This journey's been a lot of fun, but like we made it clear out there in the outfield, man, we're not finished yet.
Questions for the players?
Bobby, what were you feeling as that game keeps going and you kind of get deep into those innings?
I try not to think anything different. I mean, obviously it's hard not to look at the scoreboard when you see no hits up there, but I mean, I just gotta give credit to catcher Henry Davis, Coach Williams, and my defense for just doing a great job out there and having my back the whole game.
The fans gave you a Bobby chant.
Yeah.
You walked out. I mean, that performance to clinch the Super Regionals, then you came to Omaha to get that chant. What was that feeling like for you?
It felt amazing, honestly. Unexplainable. Nothing like that, honestly.
Did you feel any different starting the game? I mean, do you have any premonition about how well you might pitch, or?
I try not to do anything different. I mean, we always have the same routine. Try to keep the same mindset, controlling my emotions. I knew I had to go in there and pound the strike zone, and I knew if I did that, we'd be off really good.
You're still hitting 95 in the ninth inning. Did you see any slippage as the game progressed?
Yeah, I would say that. That was probably the first time that I've held my velo that well. I mean, it might have been adrenaline with all our fans, our team, just doing amazing. Honestly, it's adrenaline can do a lot of things.
Bobby, was the 99 adrenaline in the first inning, or had you touched 99 before?
I mean, I didn't even know I hit 99, honestly. I've never done that before. Honestly, it's probably adrenaline, honestly. I have no idea. Never hit 99 before.
Besides your fastball, what were you throwing that you thought was effective?
I think my changeup was the most effective today. I had trouble with my slider in the beginning of the game. I was talking to Coach Williams, and we need to develop that now. Just started using a little more of my warm-up pitches. Eventually, I got it about the 4th, 5th inning.
Justin, you guys come in here every day, you look at these pictures. Coach doesn't shy away from Omaha to talk. What's it feel like to accomplish this?
Yeah, I mean, we talk about it from day one, and we say it's one of our goals, and we work so hard as a team, and the coaches work so hard, and they just pound it in our head that it's an expectation here, and fortunate enough that we get to go there.
Justin, you guys, I mean, the playoff journey you guys were on, from loose bracket to two pretty dominating performances. Is there a way to describe, put in words, just the journey you guys have been on since maybe Jake Tournament?
Yeah, I mean, once we got down after that 1-0 game, we knew we were going to battle. We had our backs against the wall, but this team's had stuff like that all year, and we preserve, and we just stick together, and that's when we play our best baseball.
Drew, you were up in the second inning to bunt ostensibly, end up with a triple, and go up late in the game with a chance for the cycle. Just kind of typify the day for the team, everything went right.
I mean, everything did go good for us today, but we came out with a good plan, come out, put the ball in play, move it, and good things are going to happen. Our team needs to do stuff like that for our starters. It's so much easier to pitch with runs behind you, and guys like us who can hit, we get it done for Bobby, it makes it a lot easier for him.
Sure, when you look at the box score,
not the top of the order, it's the bottom of the order that really carried this team offensively today. I think 10 of the 14 hits, came from the bottom of the order. What's that say about the depth and the power of this lineup?
I mean, you got the fear of the front end of the order. You have to throw to somebody, so worked out for us.
For any of you guys, or all you guys, take us through the dog pile. What you expected, kind of, was it fun?
Not gonna lie, I kind of waited a little bit. I didn't want to be at the bottom, so I got told Fitz before the end. I was like, "Hey, is it cool if we like hug for a little bit and then go jump?" So that was my plan going in, but it was awesome just being with your brothers, and we worked so hard all year, and it's an undescribable feeling.
Yeah, about 10 seconds in, honestly, I couldn't really breathe at the end. I was trying to tell everyone to get off.
And I came around the left field side, and we got guys from the bullpen coming across this way. Either jump across and get hit by them or step on Zeke's head, so I decided not to do either of those, just kind of fall on the pile.
Bobby, did any of your teammates say anything to you, or they just keep quiet? It's
I mean, honestly, just kept quiet the whole game, just treat it like any other game.
Because of everything that was at stake, Omaha, did that take any of the burden of the no-hitter off?
I mean, not really. I try not to focus on that. I mean, the whole season, we talk about playing playoff baseball, and we just try to treat every game like that, go at it with our best.
Justin, during the regional, you guys survived. Like, there were times where you guys obviously could have improved on the gameplay. This weekend, you guys had everything clicking. Is this what you expect when things work well on all three facets for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, this is a dangerous team, and everything clicked this weekend, and I think it showed what we're capable of.
You guys are the first one into the College World Series. Does this make for an enjoyable weekend, being able to just sit back and watch everybody else?
It would be nice to watch the other teams, see who else is going to be going to Omaha. So just prepare for them.
For any of you back to the dog pile, did you see Michael bust out of the dugout and jump in? And how much of a rally has he been kind of for this super regional?
Sure. Go ahead, Drew.
I mean, it's been great having, it's unfortunate what happened to Michael, but, he knows that we got his back and we're going to give him a chance to pitch again. So it's pretty much just doing it for that and for us. So we're going to see Mike again. It's going to be great.
Justin, go ahead, Justin.
Yeah, I mean, Mike's done so many huge things for us, so losing him was pretty unfortunate, but he is with us in spirit, so once you see him coming onto the field and joining us again, it was awesome.
One more from the players. Bobby, when you give up the hit finally, what's the emotion? What are you thinking?
I mean, not really upset, honestly. Could have came eventually. I gotta give credit to them. They're a great team. They're super hard to get out. I don't blame them, honestly. And I had all the faith in the world for Kieran, so he's a great pitcher. I knew he was gonna come in and shut it down.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Additional questions for Coach?
Dan, that was mentioned about the bottom half of the lineup. Surprise you? Do you expect that from the bottom half, or surprise you at all?
We say it a lot. All the success we've had over the years, you can't live and die off the top 4 or 5 guys. Everybody in the country's got good 4 or 5. You feel like if you're going to be a complete team, or we call it a scary lineup, then you got to have some good hitters at the bottom. And when Benellis, settled into the 5 spot, of course he got moved to the 4 spot here as of late, but in the middle of the season when he went to the 5 spot, it just kind of bumped, Oriente down the 6, and then it was Britton, and then you have the catchers, Pinkham or Davis, and then of course you have Lavey and Campbell. You got just good players. So it makes it hard. It makes it hard on the other pitcher, pitching coach, the defense, and yeah, it showed today.
Coach, is this one of the more complete weekends you guys have had in a while this season?
I don't know if it gets more complete than that, 2 quality starts and double-digit runs with a big lead against, again, one of the top teams in the country. It was fortunately we jumped on them early, and we're similar clubs, I think, offensively, where if they get a 3 or 4 run lead, then they can punish you because they're so aggressive and they're going to slash and they're going to hit and run, and we don't do everything that they do, but from a similar standpoint of putting pressure. Not that we did a lot of our stealing bases and hit and run, but just being able to bunt, and it just frees up our hitters, and that could have been them. I mean, if they go up 3-0 on us, then yeah, I mean, we spent a lot of time in our scouting report preparing for what they do. And so it's, fortunately, we were the team that got the lead, and we had the freedom in our swings, and it's a lot easier offensively when you get a lead, especially with, college baseball kids.
What about Bobby's performance?
Bobby, that's impressive, to go through a regional with super regional with Reed and Bobby, and it's a good feeling knowing you got Nick Bennett there. If you get to a game 3, you got a guy like Nick Bennett who started game 1 of the regionals and started the final game of the regionals, and you can't do it with one guy. You got to do it with a staff, and obviously East Carolina got to see 2 of our top starters, and but yeah, I mean, super happy for Bobby, because we talk about it all the time. It doesn't matter what the score is, you got to pitch, and you're pitching against a great lineup, so you got to make pitches, and he did that.
You mentioned you.
Breakthrough, Bobby's.
I don't know if this is, I mean, I think he's had some dominant performances. I mean, the Florida State last game of the year to clinch the #1 seed in the ACC. He pitched last weekend in the regional. I think people will remember this one probably more than others, but this guy pitched on the weekend too last year as a freshman, so they both pitched in the regional, Reed and Bobby. And I said it, getting it handed to us at Texas Tech, it's not what you want, but it happens, and that was healthy for us, because it reminded me of 2012. We went to Arizona and they handed it to us, and I remember telling Garrett Wall when I left the press conference last year at Texas Tech, I said, man, this feels like Arizona. And it's not a good feeling, but after Arizona, man, we made a serious run for about 5 years. And I'm not making any promises for the next 5 years, but here we are 12 months later, and we're going back to Omaha.
Dan, you have mentioned it many times. We're in the Omaha Rim. You don't shy away from that when they walk in the door here. How much does that help in situations like this weekend, to where they're used to maybe with the pressure?
It just starts from the time we recruit them, and I just say it all the time. Don't be afraid to try to achieve greatness, and that's what like I said, I told Cliff, because I think I know what they're shooting for. I think I know what their goals are. I think I know what that program's about. But it's got to be that way. Like I say, you don't get to the top of the mountain and look around and go, well, how did I get here? And you get to the top of the mountain because you set that goal to get there, and so we can't shy away from that. And like I said in the opening statement, unfortunately, it's going to really hurt when you lose, really hurt. But we just talk about being bold and putting it on the line, and we use the phrase a lot. We push our chips into the middle of the table, and so I thought it was pretty cool. They wanted to put a new banner up this weekend, and we had the banner. It had 07 Dog Pile, and it had, I think, a Big East championship on there, and it's been getting a lot of TV time, and somebody suggested, why don't we put a new banner up there on the wall, and they sent me the picture of it and had the 4 trips to Omaha. And my first thought was, well, man, I don't want to change it up on these kids now. They've been walking in this building now every day for months, for a couple years now, and they've seen the same 2 pictures. And then I thought, wait a second, it's got the 4 trips to the College World Series. That's exactly what I want them to see. I want them to be reminded. That's why you're here. That's why you come to Louisville, and you've prepared for this. There's that balance between pressure, expectation, and confidence. And fortunately, we've got the right balance right now.
Dan, having been to the World Series with several good teams, is there anything unique about this group, and how ideal is it to be going in off the last 2 days?
I think I mentioned it yesterday, or Thursday maybe in the press conference. These teams they like the challenge of trying to be the greatest team to ever play here, and that's